All right, then I will call the West Bridgewater Conservation Commission meeting in order for our September 1st meeting. And the first thing on our agenda is approve the minutes from August 18th, which John was able to get to everybody.
A motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. We do have a new public hearing for 4 South Street for a septic repair within 100 feet of a bordering vegetative wetland, which we will open. And John, I believe we're just going to continue because of notifying abutters did not happen, correct?
That's correct.
And do they have a DEP file number for this yet as well?
They did get, we got that on Monday.
All right. So I will entertain a motion to continue the public hearing for 45 South Street, or South Elm Street.
I'll make that motion. Is it for the next meeting?
Yes, to the 15th.
15th.
To the 15th.
Okay. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
So
John,
what we've got are a couple of miscellaneous items. First of all, a report to give to you on 153 Scotland Street, where there were some questions about where the new items that are constructed out there are located. And then we have an invoice to authorize and then discuss the 40B up on West Center just briefly, and then also some findings that I made about the land, residual lands around our Scotland Street conservation area. And then one more thing, which is a professor at BSU would like to install some trail cams, and I'll go into that as to what they're trying to do. So we can start off with 153 Scotland Street, and I'll call up the photo just so everybody has an idea. So here's the backyard that everyone has some questions about. And so I met with the Milligans a week ago yesterday. And what we did is we had the as-built from the engineer, Michael Koska's company, and we measured the distance from the best known point that we could possibly have out there, and that's the back of the house, the original house. And I'll show you what that looks like. So here's the original house before the garage addition that's now part of the construction project. And that's over 100 feet away. So we measured from the back foundation, according to what the plan had, out towards the, I'll stop sharing this and bounce back to this picture. Measured out to the fence, and it was right at the 50-foot no-touch buffer. And that's how they erected the fence, according to Mr. Milligan. And that's how they positioned the shed based on that measurement back from the foundation. And both he and I measured it to make sure. Also, I went out in the back of the fence to see the swale that's been installed on the other side of this fence. They had to put a swale in to prevent runoff from going on to the neighbor, and that has been installed, and it's got some grass growing, but because of the hot weather that we had, was not able to be fully vegetated, so it needs a little bit more time, and possibly with the cooler weather, it'll germinate real quickly. So the bottom line is that this fence now is the 50-foot buffer to their wetland, and he has agreed not to do anything more behind the fencing and leave it as a undisturbed buffer zone.
Okay,
Okay.
So
Very good.
what is unresolved now is that the order of conditions was for grading, and now we have these additional items that are within 100 feet of the wetland. And since they're outside the 50-foot buffer and the pool is temporary, it gets taken down at the end of the season. We've got a swing set and a play area here and the shed. And because, again, it's more than 50 feet away, I would recommend that it be considered a minor project change after the fact. They should have asked ahead of time, and he now understands that. He just assumed he was okay as long as he stayed 50 feet away from the wetland. So I'm recommending it be a minor project change.
And it is all previously disturbed to begin with. I mean, it's
Yes.
not like there wasn't a lawn there before. I mean, so, yeah, as long as that's where the 50-foot is, I'm fine calling it a minor project change.
so I'll make the motion if you wish.
Thank you. And we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
All right, so I guess if I remember everything that I wanted to tell you, we should talk about the draft that I did for West Center Street and that 40B on West Center Street. It is a lot of groceries to put in a small sack. And I'm trying to word it as nicely as I can. It's just too much to put into that site. And so there's a lot of concern from a lot of the other boards. The planning board, I saw their minutes indicated they were concerned about it. And we have quite a bit of leeway in asking that they at least comply with the stormwater. And if the zoning board agrees with us, they may make them use the stormwater bylaw as part of the approval process. So if no one has any objections, I'd like to get the clearance to go ahead and send that off to the zoning board. And I'll sign on behalf of the commission.
That was the 5-6 page report that you did?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought
definitely.
that was definitely thorough, and it was definitely needed. I mean, that's a,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion to authorize John to send the letter on our behalf.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Moving second, all those in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
All right, I think the next item that I had is a invoice for the September Zoom meeting subscription. It's $14.99.
Okay.
I'll entertain a motion
yeah.
to, go ahead, Mo.
I'll make the motion that you sign for the invoice so John can get reimbursed.
No, second the motion.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
All right, so then we had the residual land on Scotland Street. So Ryan, you weren't at the last meeting, but there's quite a bit of small parcels. And just a second, I'd like to answer a question. And it's Heather Milligan asking if she can leave the meeting, and I'm saying yes. And thank you for attending, Heather. So on the Scotland Street residuals, I checked with the town accountant, and we have in excess of $39,000 in the account, which we're able to use to protect wetlands by acquiring property. So we would be able to offer a small amount of money to the attorney and negotiate with them. And I haven't got anything definite yet, but when I do, I'll let you know. But I did do some more review of it, and at least 2 parcels would provide access to a street, but that being South Elm Street, to access the property other than way down on the old Maple Street Road. So that in itself is valuable, and the land itself can't be really built on, but if one of the neighbors were to acquire it, then we'd have extra not enforcement, oversight to make sure nothing goes on with those parcels. And by owning them, we should be able to at least not worry about some neighbor clearing it and doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing on the land. So if you don't object, I would like to open up a dialogue with the attorney and find out just what that attorney is thinking and whether they're amenable to just a nominal amount just to pay for the legal work that's done on it.
Yeah, I'd say pursue it.
Yeah, definitely.
I did read the correspondence, and yeah, it makes sense to me too. How big were they, the parcels?
So most of them are all less than an acre.
Okay.
But they total all about what, 15, I think you said, John, totaling them all up?
Yeah, when you total them all up, it's about 15.
Yeah.
The biggest piece, which is mostly all wetland, abuts the town dump.
Okay.
All right, so John, it looks like you've got the go-ahead to start negotiating.
Okay. Let's see. The professor from BSU, he had contacted me with the question, would the Conservation Commission object to his interns putting some trail cams out on the conservation land so that they can do some inventorying of the types of wildlife that are out there. And they put that data into a national database that gives the people who would use it, mostly probably academic type people, ability to sample certain types of lands, like conservation land, and what type of animals are found on it. And it's kind of like a census, but obviously, you know, our town census and our national census were in one place. These animals move around, so they have to probably use some of their software and analytical types of software that they have to figure it out. But it's apparently nothing that would harm the land. It's just helping them do their study. So he wanted some type of go-ahead from the commission, and I told him I would bring it to your attention.
They'd
Have a
just
problem.
be in there for a few minutes to put the camera on a tree, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem.
I would have no objection.
And actually, this kind of data actually helps eventually, because I know when the Audubon's done it for the bird studies, it actually helps designate areas as endangered habitat or flyways or nesting sites.
Right.
So who knows what they'll find out there.
Yeah. If I remember,
know.
a number of years back, there was a young gentleman that was a student that was going down into Flaggy Meadow and doing the bird inventories down there. So I'm sure that helped him or whoever he was working for. So
But the more data they have and the more often they get it, it gives them a better snapshot of what's around. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd be curious what's out there.
All right, do we, we'll just say it's a consensus that
Yep.
it's, okay. Was there anything else I said that I've forgotten already? I think that's about it.
I think that was it. Anybody else have anything else?
We dealt with 10 Woodrow. Any issues there, John?
Not yet. I will be able to let you know at the next meeting.
Okay. All right.
All right. Hearing nothing else, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.